Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to take you through how to work with shapes on Figma. So remember, I created a video some times ago about introduction to Figma, and also I created another video on how to work on frames on Figma. So this video is a follow-up of those two previous videos on how to work with shapes on Figma. So what we are going to be doing in this video is to take you through frames, is to take you through shapes rather, so that you can learn how to work with different kind of shapes on Figma, right? So before we go into that, if you can still recall from the previous video on how to work with frames, by clicking the frame, we created some grid and some layout in the previous video. So I'm going to do the same thing. Let's say I'm creating a columns of 6, and then I'm putting this margin to be 20, right? And then that is okay for me. So in the same vein also, I'm creating another one. This one is going to be a row. It's going to be a row, so I'm making it 12, and then that is 12, just like this. All right, so now then what I'm going to do is to hide these two. I will still use them much later. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger by clicking the control and plus. Control and minus we make it smaller, control and plus we make it larger. So if you are using okay, all right, so here we are, and in this video, like I said, we'll be working mainly on shapes, different kind of shapes, and some manipulation that you can do with shapes. In the introductory part of introduction to Figma, I made mention of shapes, but this particular video will dive deeper into shapes and into some of those things that the first video did not contain, right? So now in Figma, we use these shapes for several things, for buttons, for marking, for bringing out our designs. Mainly, that is what we use shape for. Right now, we have the rectangle shape. I said this rectangle shape is if you want to draw a rectangle. So this is a rectangle like this, and if you also want to draw, you can click on it or use the shortcut R. If you want to draw a square, you hold the shift key, and as you hold the shift key, you release your hand and it will give you square. And now we have these two shapes that we have here. These are two shapes that we created, that we have here, a rectangle and also a square. All right, now oops, I'm sorry. Okay, now we have the rectangle and also we have the square. So now when you click on this rectangle, like I said, and now note that all of these rectangles, these two rectangle 1 and rectangle 2, they are inside this home screen. This home screen is a frame that we created, and all of these things are inside the home frame, the home screen frame. Now let's say I create another shape R, and then is outside. See, now I just want you to see in this layers part here that this rectangle 3 that is drawn is not inside this home screen frame but outside of it. Right now, this has significance, right? Whenever you are making a design, you should ensure that what you want inside the home screen should be under this home screen, should be under it and inside the home screen tab right there. This is the home screen. So now by the time you are exporting or you want to send a design to, for some other processing, so you can be able to send what is inside the home screen frame, and then what is outside will not really be sent. So, but one thing you can do is to move it inside the frame, you can drag it from outside like this to inside. You see it moved inside, or you can drag it from this place to this place. It moved inside. All right. So now let's just leave it outside like this, and then I'm going to delete it. So now as I'm clicking on this shape, we have a lot of things that we can do with it right there. Now we have, these are alignments. Now these alignments are going to work in respect with the frame. So for example, let's say this one is just like this before, and I click on this, is an alignment to align left. You see it's going to align according to the frame, this home screen. Now if I click on this left alignment, it aligns to the left. Now this is another alignment, horizontal alignment. If I click on it, it will align horizontally, you see, according to the frame that is there. Now if I click on align right, it will align to the right. It will just snap to the right. It will not go out. It will align perfectly. So if I click on align at the top, it will align at the top. And then if I click on align vertical horizontal, and it will just do the same thing exactly like I want it to do. And if I click on this one also, it will be at the middle of it, right? So now these are some of the things you also should know about, shapes and how they work, right? About the alignment. If let's say you have series of shape and then they are not well aligned, so you can use this alignment to actually align them. So another way that I can do the alignment is by clicking on this frame, the home screen frame, and then clicking on the columns that was created some times ago. Now this is the columns, right? We can see the columns that are there. But I want this is a margin that, margin, you don't put anything there, right? I just want this place to be free. I want this place to be free also. So I can drag this one to the edge of this line right there, and then I can also do this one to this place right there. I can move this one to this place, right? I just want it to snap so that it could snap to this line. Yes, to this line right there, so that everything that will be coming, I can just draw another rectangle like this, that we snap to this place also, right? So now these are the reasons why I'm using this. I use the columns so that it will help me in achieving a perfect alignment, right? So this means that all of these things at this side here, the margin, and also this margin are going to, it will be constant all throughout. So even though if I'm using 100 frames, so I will still prefer this type of setting so that I will have all of these things to be uniform throughout the screen, and my designs will be appealing to the eye. All right. So now I'm clicking on this home screen again. I'm going to turn off the columns, and I think it's okay. One thing I still want to look at is to look at the rows, and I want to drag this design so that it will come to this place. All right, so now this is what I want to achieve right there. And one thing I still want to do again is, to, you can turn the two on at the same time, right? The two right there, you can turn it on at the same time, but you see what you are working with so that it will not be confusing. All right, let's say I have those things there, and I have this one here, and so all of these are perfect ways of doing alignment. And I click on this place again, and I turn this one off. I turn this one off. See what I'm talking about. So we have these two objects perfectly aligned inside this frame. Because I used a form of predefined setting for the grid and all that, right? So that is some of the things that we can do with shapes. So let's look at some other things that we can achieve with this shape transformation. There is a whole new video on working with constraints and all that, so I'm not going to go into that right now. So I've talked about working with fill. The fill is the color. So if you know the color code, you can just put the color code directly, or you want to play around with different color. And if you are satisfied, you just select color that you want. So here is also stroke. If you want to add a stroke to it, a stroke is, we cover it when we're talking about frames, but let me click on the stroke, and then you see the color. This is the color. See right there, the black lines, right? Those black lines, that is what frame is. So if you click on it again, and then that is what stroke is rather. So you can change the color of the stroke, you can change the position. Maybe you want it inside, center, or outside, but it's inside. You can change the size. Let's say we want it to be 5. Yes, you see it's multicolor like that. So, and then another thing you can do is you can add another stroke that will be, if you click on this plus, you add another one. If you click on this minus right there, it will be removed, right? If you click on the plus, it's addition, right? Now, another thing you can do is on effect. You can add effect to your shape, right? Let's say I want to add some effect to this. Now, let's say I removed. Okay, I not. Now the effect that it is now is the drop shadow effect. Now, do you see what the drop shadow effect is? Let me make it bigger so that you can see. Now, the drop shadow effect is what creates this kind of shadowy black that is right there. So let me make it now. Coming to this effect, I will just click on it like this, and it will show me some of the functions or some of the things that can be done with the effect. Again, this is the color, this is the opacity. I can change the blur, or I want it to have I can change it to 75 so that you can see it very well. So you see what I'm talking about now. You see that it's more darker like this. So these are some of the effects that you can work with. Drop shadow, there is inner shadow. This one we create a shadow inside the object. The drop shadow will be outside. Now the layer blur, you see as I'm putting this cursor on it, it's just showing some of the things that it does. And then there is background blur, there is layer blur, where the layer will be form of blurry. So all of this, when you are doing your design, are some of the things that you can use to transform your designs to the beautiful space you really want it to be, right? So these are some of the functions or some of the things that can be done with shapes. There's another video that I said I will be speaking about constraints. I'll be speaking about Boolean operation also, but this particular video is to delve deeper into shapes and to cover some of the things that we've not talked about shapes in our previous introductory video to Figma. All right, so thank you so much. This is the end of the video on working with shapes on Figma. Remember, we have more than rectangle and square on the shapes. We still have a lot of other shapes. We have line, we have arrow, we have ellipse, we have polygon, we have star, right? But the essence of this is, these shapes, you can work with any shape. All what we did right there is applicable to any shapes whatsoever. It's applicable to any shape, right? So you can try all of these things on different shapes and then come up with, see a lot of other ways on how to manipulate all of them, right? But so thank you so much for staying this far on this video. Till we see on the next video. Kindly subscribe and share this video with someone.